heart speed to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull the stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
Good afternoon. It's Wednesday. It's hot. Really hot. We have an official heat wave again. And I really thought we were kind of done with that shizzle, right? Because we had a hot spring. Then suddenly it went all cold as a really cold spring, but it was kind of summerish supposed to be. And now it's just freaking hot again. So welcome to the funky weather of the Netherlands. I mean, it's in the 90s. It's crazy. And I have, of course, no air conditioning because we don't. It's a financial point of perspective. And normally these hot days don't last as long, so I should survive. I did find my fan and ventilator, so if you do hear a little bit of background noise, that might be the one, just to keep me cool, because if I'm going to work on the Heart Collectors Shawl without a ventilator, it's going to be too warm for me. And as you can see right now, it is sunny with a temperature of 94 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's 34 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from south at 4 miles per hour, so almost wind still as well. And the humidity is 38. So it is not too humid, but it's really, you can really feel the sun when you get out. It's quite warm. Good morning, Rev. I hope you had a good weekend as well. I had a great one. And yes, please remember to give me a little thumbs up. That does support me. And good afternoon, Hella. Good morning, Megan. Yeah, 94 with no air conditioning. Yep. Welcome to... And we aren't even close to the desert or anywhere. It's just nuts. I think France is like hitting the 40s almost, which is like, what, above 100? These periods, it's crazy. Anyhow, I've been crafty. I guess it's still like the usual shizzle. I don't reach as much as I really want to reach. But we have been working, and right now I just have it as a pal in front of me. And if I put the dual view on, you will absolutely understand what I mean with it. Also, like I have sunscreens out in front where the sun comes in to kind of keep it colder in here. And I still think that we are end 80s here in the house, so it's warm. So that's also why I am on the short-sleeved shirt, and I'm just generally a little bit light dressed. It's like I have to, because if I don't, well, I'll melt literally like an ice cream. But yeah, so I have been working. It's nice. Let's see. I started, so we are still on the first half of this row. Ta-ta. But as I've gotten used to, it is much easier with this size to have some of it on my lap. And that is why I say I need cooling. And I also have shorts on. But it's like sitting with a blanket when I'm working with this. I definitely don't need it to keep myself cool. I am, though, on a positive note, this will have a color change today. And we are going to keep crocheting on this one with the color change, because once we get there, I am allowed to keep going, because it's the last quote unquote color of this color before the color change. So once we get to the knot, we can just crack on. So that is awesome. Yeah, I should probably weave in some ends as well, but we'll see how that goes, all of it. It's actually was Texas expecting. Yeah, well, welcome to Texas in Europe. I guess Texas in Europe. The Dune, a breeze, a wrap by Juan. Is this what you're going to be making? Let me just pop over to the Ravelry link for those who doesn't have it readily available. There you go. You're currently working on it. Yep. Looks good though. What color are you making yours in? Just of all curiosity. What color have you decided to go with? For obvious reasons, I'm still working on the same project because it takes forever. I mean, genuinely, this is just a lot of work. And I think it's an awesome idea when I begin, and then when I'm here, like more than halfway through, it starts to feel like, am I really sure it was that great idea? Just because it still feels like there's a really long way to go. But I'm sure once I'm fully done and it's laid out, even without blocking, it's gonna look freaking gorgeous. So let's just crack it on. What I can say for sure, since that I am working on row 59, is that we will definitely have some more addition rows because, well, I still have yarn left on those cakes, and I will also have that once I've finished row 59 and 60. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Thank you, Megan. I haven't laid it like fully flat out for a week or two. But I know it's going to be great. It's just big. Big, 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 big. Huge. It's like a blanket. It is generally like a blanket. I'll tell you guys some fun stuff. So normally the bed sheets, like the duvet, would be in sort of a pillow sheet, like a big duvet sheet. We removed the duvet from the sheets because it's just too warm to sleep otherwise. But at the same time, I actually brought a small blanket to put on top of that because just the sheet alone feels, I can't explain it. It's a little bit like too light. Like I like a little bit of weight on it. So that's what I've done because my partner don't need it. But I guess I prefer the weight of a duvet. It's like a child being tucked in. But yeah. Otherwise, it's been a great weekend. Not too much on the agenda. Sunday we went out eating at the Greek because what happened was Friday. was it Thursday or Friday? My partner was like, "Oh, in this weather, I really want to eat tzatziki." And then I looked at him and said, "Well, I'm not gonna make tzatziki for you. I could, but I'm not gonna do it in this weather. It's too warm for me to be bothered." Like, so let's go go out to eat. So we went for Greek to get tzatziki and gyros. That was nice. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 1, 2. Yay. So I have 16 on the tip right now, which means that this row I am increasing again on each of those 27, 29 tips. We're just cracking on, girls and gentlemen, cracking on. So yeah, I don't know what is the other fun stories to tell. Well, it's been blooming hot other places as well. It's just been warm everywhere basically. And I am actually highly debating because I do need to get moving. And I haven't so I got really good at making sure I got at my half an hour's exercise a day. But then the heat came and now it's just too warm. So I'm actually genuinely debating instead I should grab the bike and then maybe just go around sometime, I don't know, after dinner or something like that. Because, just because, if that makes any remote sense. I guess it's still going to be warm, but you'll get some breeze on you. I think that would maybe be good for me as an alternative to my walks. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Premier Home Cotton colorway is the Water Lilies. Ooh. Here we go. The wrap that Rev is making. I like these colors. They're gorgeous. Donation for the wife or friend? That reminds me, I genuinely would love to. Let me find that, see if I can find it actually. For the wife, she's a lucky person. You make so many things for her. What did I want to say? I wanted to do cotton, not sales. Oh, I'm on Hobby's website. Not that I'm buying anything. Yarns, cotton yarns, please. Thank you. They have these print, right? Cotton Friends print. Definitely not on sale right now. I love to make something out of this one. I think that is gorgeous. But I'm not in a rush because I don't need it. I don't need to add it to my stash. So I just hope they don't discontinue before I get so far that I'll get there. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. This is also where I got the yarns from them. I made it in this bold rainbow. I made them bucket hats. I also really much like the solids up here, like the yellow and the different yellows or in the different oranges. The reds, I normally like red, but because of the dark red, it kind of makes me less keen. Then I think the oranges is nicer. I also think the blues are nice. Oh my goodness. Or this one. Oof. But I really like this jungle green. They also have like a fresh mint, which could be cool too. And the spring greenery. I'm still really for the jungle green. I think the jungle green is really the one that speaks best to me. And if it has to be different green, I'm for the fresh mint rather than the spring greenery. Then give me fresh mint or the jungle green. And then you have the pastel rainbows and other colors as well. Bonfire. That's actually kind of cool. I like this one. It's also okay. But I mean, they are really some really, really nice colors. They do not have the longest color transition though. So it's just a couple of stitches. But I think it's like pretty cool. We can all agree. We are dreaming on. For some reason, my screen only shows me. There we are. We're only showing me the top chats, and I want to see all chats. But yeah, the greens are nice, aren't they? Makes me want to. But it's not gonna happen. And of course, Pletta Stanley also sent me an advertisement being like, if you want to buy our cotton cakes right now, for every 2 cotton cakes, you can get the 3rd for free. Or in other words, you buy 3 and you get 1 free because you get the 3rd one free. Like buy 3, get only pay for 2 kind of deal. And I'm like, oh yes. But then I'm also like, no, I don't have room. I really should not. And I did not. I was a good girl. At some stage, we'll put a nice new offer out at some stage, I guess. Who knows when. But I mean, I could easily have gotten some. But then we are back to the thing that they do. They say we want to give you free shipping when you buy for like 200 euros of yarn. 200 euros of yarn is a lot of yarn. I mean, that's like a year's consumption, if not more. So we're just skipping that for now. I've been good girl. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 is good. But yeah, so I don't think that, given the fact that this round is not that quote unquote old, I'm not halfway through. I don't think we're going to finish it today, but we'll definitely have a color change. We'll just crack it on, do the best we can. Meanwhile, dreaming of a cooler place. I have to say, I actually do feel cold on one side where the ventilator stands on. That's nice. Further than that, what do we have of plans? Plan is that next week, Monday, I will be live again with you guys. Friday, we'll have a yarn talk. Let's see if I somehow can manage to get to a point. Maybe that will be easier, where I don't necessarily have yarns attached to this piece, or maybe I just need to place it flat out on the floor, being like, hey, this is actually how it looks. That could be too. A little goal for me. And then we are going to head into all the small projects, because we all agreed that it was absolutely all right that if I would start making smaller projects after this. So we are gonna look at all the possible random projects that we could possibly make. Um, I have plans for lots of things, and of course, we still have another shawl that I'm working on, which been paused for the last like what 3 months. And we have the waistcoat, but that could be finished in 2 weeks tops, I think. Um, it's just not really weather right now to do make waistcoats. Um, but it's a little bit on the warmer side for that. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, and no tea today. Lemonade. This is a lemonade, and the taste is green Renaclaude. So it looks quite toxic green. It's a plum, for those curious. Because it's simply too hot to drink tea. And then, I do argue a bit with my mom-in-law, and she's being like, "Yeah, but when it's warm, you should drink lots of soups and teas." And I'm like, no, I just get warmer by it. No, 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 no. It's for when it's cold, not for when it's warm. Yeah, but it's a good way to replenish salts. Yeah, I can also replenish salts by taking electrolytes if I want to. The real question is, should I have? I probably should have actually. We just cracked on, didn't we? But I mean, after I moved along here, which was in the very beginning, I didn't weave in ends, and I really should actually. Because weaving ends as we go makes it a lot less work when we're done crocheting. Plus, I am subconsciously a little bit afraid that I might overlook them or forget them. The ends, that is. Oh my goodness. Come on. Don't split on me. Behave. Yay. Good yarn. Um, do, do, do. Yep. One tail. Gotta do one more tail. Further than that, no crazy plans yet for the summer. As I said, I am going to go to Denmark. It is another 4 weeks, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tomorrow, 4 weeks, I'll be leaving. So that's gonna be really nice. Gonna spend some time with my family, both my parents, of course, and my mom's side of the family. And then that's probably gonna pretty much be our summer vacay, by the looks of it. For smaller projects, I highly recommend this Dune a Breeze wrap. It works up really quick. Oh, that's nice. Always good when things do work up quickly. You know, this would have worked up quickly if I didn't decide to make the XXL version. Right? I mean, I didn't have to make the biggest version of these, but of course, Steen is like, yeah, let's go for it. But I think, you know, the next one I make, I could probably also make smaller without that's hurting anyone. Is my suspicion. It's just because I am overly motivated to do things sometimes, or overly like leap setting. No, don't tease me, yarn. You work this short side back and forth so you don't need a crazy long chain. Ah, right. I did 70 chains and got 58 centimeters. Yeah, that makes sense. Then you just sit with a long thing you turn back and forth, right? Like, you can work wraps on the long side and the short side, I guess. And you're then working it the short side. One more till done and dusted. Sweet. And we can flip my blanket around here. It feels like a blanket. Oh, that's another end. I don't need ends. I just want this end. This end only, please. It genuinely does feel like a blanket. So I've done scarves both starting on the short row and the long row, so on the long side. Both is definitely possible. I guess it all depends on how you want it to turn out. I have the absolutely gorgeous Ico shawl upstairs. I really need to block that because the autumn version I made of it, I think that I'm probably better off offering that for sale. With the exception of the exception of the first 2 rows, you're working into chain spaces, so it goes very fast. Yeah, so you don't need to catch the actual stitches. So that's kind of nice, I think. Definitely that's faster, because here I need to catch stitches. Not that it's slow, but I mean, double crochets just take longer time than chains and everything else. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So I am going to have to calculate in a few to figure out how many more repeats I can add to this. Yeah, took me a couple of rows to get the pattern down, but once you get it, soon. I'm slowly at a place where I can also kinda predict the pattern here a bit, not 100%. I am super curious what we will be doing once I need to read the pattern after row 60, but right now we are on 59. So that's gonna be plans for when I get there, probably like, I don't know, Friday, tomorrow, maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It's not predictable just yet. Here is when I changed yarn. Not previous row, but row before, 2 rows ago. But it is, I'll first weave those ends in when I go back, so on row 60. So right now I'm just gonna ignore them and move on. Enjoying the fact that the next color change don't need to be woven in, because we can just continue with this cake. That is awesome. The challenge is, though, I think color-wise, you're probably not able to see the actual transition, because the color difference, even for me with the light and everything, it's hard for me to see the actual change. It's very, very subtle right now, which is kind of cool because that makes it even more flowy, right? Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Awesome. Yeah, so we are right now. It's super predictable. Sure, that is cool. Yeah, what else is going up is that this weekend, well, I have an appointment Saturday. So I probably need to spend some time tomorrow or the day after tomorrow cleaning up this mess in the house I have, and find the things I need for the appointment. That will be a good idea. So I don't need to do that all on Saturday. Further than that, I think sleeping out would be nice. Getting to bed on time. Oh, we're starting to see where the new color change will come. Woohoo! Do you guys have any plans for the week? I mean, my life is going to be pretty boring the coming days. I'm trying to prevent melting. Normally, I'm walking to my in-laws on Thursdays when we go there for lunch or dinner. Sorry. Right now, I am highly debating on letting myself getting picked up because I mean, it's gonna be like the hottest time of the day. Which is going to be like what, 35, 36 degrees. It's freaking crazy. Are we getting thunderstorms is a big question. Well, it's going to be raining this weekend, so it's not like I'm going to do a bunch of things when it just did rain. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, I just did want to double check, but it's fine. We can probably squeeze in an extra. So each repeat is like 4 rows. So I'm thinking that we can probably squeeze that in, but we'll have to see. Good morning, Susan. I just told earlier that it's hot here, so I am obviously lightly dressed. I do apologize if you can hear the ventilator in the background because here is no air conditioning and it is 94 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's warm. And I can't sit with this big blanket of a shawl without the ventilator keeping me a bit cool because as I said, it's on my lap. Like, and I'm even also wearing shorts on that account. Ooh, that's great. I have like a small one. It's not a big one. I think it's too. It's probably even too short. I think the wire is too short to let's show because I only can pull it so long. Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. But I have a small one. It's a table fan basically, though I have actually placed it on the chair next to me because then it's in a height where it does not dry my eyes out, and it's cooling like this region, right? So I feel the lower parts here of my arms being cooled. So basically, yeah, from my chest and down, because that's where all the warm shawl is. Makes good sense, right? The weather in New Jersey seems to be good. It is sunny with a temperature of 76 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's 19 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from northwest at 7 miles per hour, and the humidity is 76. Well, as we discussed earlier, my weather is like Texas. But I'm doing okay. It's a great excuse to eat ice cream. I am doing my very best to snack a bit less. So that's, I guess, positive. Hmm. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And that's even though that, the blood work came back and said, oh, I was picobello and nothing to worry about. I'm like, I feel I just need to be considerate. Would be the right term, I think. It's fairly early morning here. It's only about 15 degrees Celsius. Well, I'll take those, my girl, any day right now. Well, actually, I might complain that's too cold. I'll take 20. 20 would be nice. 20 would be really nice. I mean, genuinely. About 20 in the afternoon and rainy most of the week. Nope, not here. Well, it'll be rainy this weekend. Thunderstorms this weekend, which is dreadfully logic. Let's see what it says here. Weather. It's probably got a little bit warmer, I don't know, or it's about the same. I mean, well, we went up one notch. Conditions are still sunny. Surprise, I see lots of sun. Blue clouds. It's gorgeous weather outside. So one could really ask myself why I'm sitting in here. Well, because it's too hot outside. It's 95 degrees Fahrenheit now here. So 35 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from south-southeast at 4 miles per hour, and the current temperature is 38 still. It just remains warm. Hot, hot, hot. It's also too warm for me. That's pretty defined. Definitely way too warm for me. I mean, it's to the point where you consider it uncomfortable. The weather in Waco is currently mostly cloudy with a temperature of 78 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 degrees Celsius. Sounds a lot nicer, by the way. Wind is blowing from south at 8 miles per hour and the humidity is 90. I mean, I'll take 78 degrees Fahrenheit. 26. Sure. Sounds like a good trade to me. That was the overnight low. Yeah. Ugh. Our overnight lows right now is like 22 degrees Celsius. Weather in Winnipeg is mostly cloudy with a temperature of 57 degrees Fahrenheit, 14 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from north-northwest at 5 miles per hour and the humidity is 93. Ooh. Yeah, it's always a bit cooler in the morning, right? I mean, I came downstairs in the hope that I could open the door and put the ventilator in the doorway to get air in that was cooler than what we had in the living room. And I opened the door and I was able to do that for 10 minutes. And then the temperature was the same inside and outside. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, at 20 minutes past 8 this morning, it was 28 degrees Celsius. Jesus. Oh no, 26 degrees, but still 26 to 28 is not a big difference at that time of the day. It's getting to 35 today. Dawn was like 90 minutes ago, so we have not had the heat of the day hit yet. Yeah. The heat usually first hits in the afternoon here. So right now it's warming up, and I think in about somewhere between an hour to an hour and a half from now is probably when it's going to be warmest here. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Meanwhile, I can happily tell you guys that it is in a 290 subscribers time. I will be gifting away another Ravelry pattern. A pattern in your favorites that you haven't gotten yet. And 290 subscribers time. Isn't that gonna be cool? Meanwhile, I'm just keeping cracking on here. We're gonna look at all my things for potential projects once I'm done here. Plenty of ideas I have. 10, 12, 14, 16. Sorry. Whew. This is why Texas is so good for making whiskey that is 20 plus degrees temp. Swaying from day to night means that whiskey interacts with the wood, aging barrel a lot more. Oh, a 5-year-old Texas whiskey is darker than a 20-year-old Scotch. Interesting. I would not have known that. A friend of mine really enjoys Scottish whiskey. I'm personally just generally cool with most things, I guess. There are a few things I don't like the taste of, but I generally are cool with whiskey. So the good thing right now is that our floor is pretty cold, which makes it for, like, if it's too warm, I'll just take my shoes out and touch the cold tiles on the floor. It's like an inbuilt temperature regulation system. Best place to cool down is the ground in our living room. But it's also why I've told my partner so often, many times, that before we go old and with retirement, I want to have floor heating. That's probably also when before then we should have gotten ourselves a new kitchen. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Around here, I know a few people who make their own wine and mead. Yeah, why not? Texas whiskey is very distinct as it cannot be aged beyond 5 years or it just becomes old tannins. So you get rapidly aged whiskey that has a lot of wood flavor on top of the very sweet undertone. So if I ever come to Texas, I am to try a Texan whiskey. It's not something that we really have here, I think. I am curious. We do have like a drink place selling thing. So let's see if they actually for funsies. Nope, that's definitely not. Well, apparently, but that is ready to drink from Dallas. But I don't think this is whiskey. It's a cocktail. Oh, okay. Let's pop over for funsies. The Busballs cocktails, chopped teas, ready to drink, enjoy chilled. Apparently, I can get this in our local store. And I can get the second for 50% discount even. Yeah. According to this, it's a tasty chocolate cocktail with first class vodka, a real cream, and a natural chocolate flavor, which I'm like, that's not whiskey. I was just writing Texan whiskey. This was the result I got. Look, Fort Worth, Dallas, and then there's Waco. That's probably the closest I get to something from your end. Gee. Would have thought, well, we do have whiskey. And they do have a bunch, but I was thinking, don't we like... So basically we can choose between Scotland and Ireland, but... Oh, here. United States. There we go. Not necessarily looking for Jack Daniels, I guess. Stria says it's interesting. It sounds very tasty. It actually does sound tasty. I would be open to try it. Here we have lots of fruits and bees, so honey, meat, and wines are more common locally. We have one local distillery that we quite enjoy, Balcones. Okay. But I don't know if that's around this one. Do have options at least. But this is like Tennessee whiskey, which is not what we're looking for, right? You can get a Jack Daniels gift package, including Coke and a glass. Like, no. Gentleman Jack. It's a lot of Black Channel, Four Roses, Bourbon, Buffalo Trace, Evan Williams, First Distillers, Bosel. That sounds very like ranchy. But it's mainly like Jim Beam and Jack Daniels what I see, with a few excuses. So yeah, they do have some, just maybe not that one. Cookies, Please tell us. Oh, way too long ago. Ah, that does look nice, actually. And the question is then, which is the best of them? But that sounds pretty good, actually. That said, I don't have like an awful lot of alcohol in the house because I generally don't drink. My partner doesn't drink at all, which means I always have a driver when we go somewhere. But I'll more likely do enjoy when we are somewhere. My mother-in-law makes strawberry wine. It is one of my favorites. That does sound good. Here, so just across the border in Belgium, they make cherry beer and raspberry beers. You like the rye or the Texas bourbon? Okay. I'll try to keep in mind should I ever be so lucky to come across one. You prefer darker tasting notes, more towards caramel chocolate notes? Okay. Then it sounds like those balls thingy, chocolate thingies, is something for you too. The vodka ones? I mean, that was chocolate something. The rye has a heavy cacao nibs flavor. Oh, but as in like dark chocolate or more like neutral chocolate? Because I'm not a big fan of dark chocolate, but you can serve me chocolate further than that any day, and I will happily eat it. And it is a real peeve of mine about habits. I do like chocolate, but I have been good and generally try to buy less things that I want to snack as well. And I'm also trying to snack less. Still snacking, but I mean less. So hopefully that has a good impact. Dark unsweetened chocolate. Okay. The whiskey underneath is still very sweet, so it balances this nicely. Ah, right. Yeah, that makes good sense. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Actually, it's comfortable right now. The only thing that would be more comfortable would probably be going on the couch and doing closing my eyes. Yeah. So rest of the week is also going to be busy with work. I have a few things to catch up on, which I have been, I would say, lightly saying neglecting a little bit. It is summer, which means also generally we have a little bit less content, and that means that I really should catch up on some things that I haven't been doing. So I have been a little bit too chill, and I need to really put focus in on that. So that is also a thing. So I do need to work most of the Friday afternoon because I have an appointment Friday morning. And then, of course, well, tomorrow as well. I do need to get the yarn talk video sorted. Also. So there's plenty of things to do. Oh, that was a stitch too many. We'll frog one stitch back. That's not too bad, huh? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah. And as you may know, we went through my my current Simply Softs Monday, which I did get a darn good price. It was like at least 50% off. And then I need to crack on with some projects there as well. I did find a knitting pattern for a beanie with it, and that also had some cables on it. So I'm thinking that could be a good practice project, maybe. And then, of course, we still have all the other projects. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We still have another 6 days to go. And we have 9 full colors, which means that if I'm not going to crack on this weekend and do a lot, I'm not sure if we'll manage to finish it all in June. Which means that yarn consumption in June is going to look really, really sad because then I didn't use that much. The reality is most of the yarns that I've been using this month is right here. Right here, right now. Rev is not a fan of the Simply Soft. It is very popular, but it is divisive. Well, that could be. I've only done the one project, and then I got some more. It does have a little bit of splitty tendency for sure. It is very soft but tends to split and is very slippery. I'm not a fan of the textile while working it. Yeah, okay. I'm told it knit better than it crochets. Well, that is a good hope, I guess. I did wonder to make, like, some of them I have really a lot of some colors, so I have been wondering I could make a solid colored hexie. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I don't know why I don't get all of it. So my chat is like super slow. Kelsey likes it for her double-stranded hats. Okay. Yeah, that's a possibility. I have been debating on maybe just making also some double-stranded. I could definitely use it for that too. That is an option. Reminds me, I really should get all those hats as well photographed and uploaded. And I should do so many things. But right now I've been prioritizing other things, which is maybe not the best choice, to be honest. So I need to reprioritize once we are done with this shawl on how I spent my hours in the day. You have a lot of one colorway, but you can also have some of one or two off skeins. Yep. True. I do have a lot of various ones. Bottom line is, I guess we'll have to see how it all turns out. But it is a lot of yarn, and it's definitely also one that will be great to get destashed, I think. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. But that will also take, like, there's a year worth, I think, of crafting pleasure alone in my current Simply Soft. And the fact I never bought that cotton yarn, which I was really tempted of buying. I am so proud of myself. I was a good, good girl. Good lad. Yeah. Good girl. Good lass. Yes, I were. Ooh. This means that we are done with, after this one, with the last of those tips on the first side of this row. Hallelujah. That is actually rather neat. Because then I know we are closer towards the accomplishment of being done. I can really feel these tips take a long time. And it's also, it's a 32 stitches per tip, right? And there's like 29 of them. So, I mean, or is it 27, 27, 29? 29. So, I mean, it's logic, it takes time. I also had the idea that I wanted to, at some stage, crochet bunnies, like real, more realistic looking ones. But I'm not so sure if it's gonna make 100% sense, like if I'll have enough yarn for it. So I may need to consider doing other projects with that yarn. Then if that's 16, I'm probably going to need to do 18 on this one, I think, but let's just read pattern. Skip 3 stitches, done. Double crochet in the next 16 plus 2, chain 2 to, yep, 18. I like when it's predictable. Cheers. Don't forget to hydrate. Especially when it's going to be warm, it's even more important to hydrate. I'm sure there's no need for me to tell you guys that, but I am doing that in any case. We have another color change of a yarn change there, but it's again not this row. Last Friday, the wife and I went to see Masters of the Universe. She had never seen the original show, and it's been 30 years for me. We both had a blast. Oh, that sounds awesome! Very fun movie with the perfect amount of dump. Sometimes you need just something that's crazy. I'm trying to remember the movie. It's a movie. It's also an older movie where my partner is being like, it's just the level of humor is so low that it's hilarious because it's like so dumb, if that makes sense. Yeah. I am currently going through binging The Pit. After they also restarted the new series of oh my goodness, A Dance with Dragons, A House of Dragon, sorry. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Ooh. Look here. Look here. Look here. Look here. Here it is. You can see it, I'm sure. I'm just turning it a bit around. You can't see the actual card change because it's gonna be really challenging for me to get that on camera, but just trust me when I say it's there. So we are going from light peach into cream. But it's right there. Color change. Ooh, ooh. I am though gonna cut a little bit extra off this because it is like a very long knot that they made on this one. Like that. Is this the last color change? No, there will be one more. So right now I have here, so there's 3 strands in the yarn. And right now there are 3 strands of light peach and 1 strand of cream. Then we're going into the 2 strands of each. We'll have one more change where it's 1 light peach and 3 strands of cream. And then it's going to be solid cream, and that's the last of it. But we still have like 2 cakes of each, right? Like, or 3 cakes in total. So once the next color change comes on this one, I'll have to cut the yarn and add on the next cake. But it is getting close to the last color changes. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. It is getting closer. So right now we have a full color round, so to say, or whatever, on this cake. Then we'll add the other cakes one by one. But it is a very, like, these last few color changes is very slowly gradient ones. And I'm suspecting that we'll be around adding maybe one more repeat. We'll have to see how far we get on that. For now, we are just still cracking on. There it comes, the knots for the magic color change. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Done. I am officially now working with the new color. Sweet. Almost happened on the tip. Now that is really, really neat. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Perfect. The last one should be 20 then. Anyway, Master of the Universe should be on Prime soon, uses Amazon was the studio. Oh, that's cool. Well, I'm now curious just to check if it's there already. I have been doing a little bit of... Oh, they also have a new episode. I should do that just because I should. I'm right now watching a series called Ticket to the Tribes, which is basically, it's a little bit like the Robinson concept. Like you take a bunch of famous people, important VIPs, and you stuff them in a tribe, and they have to follow tribe way of life. And there is different distinct things, and they go a little bit like, oh, I don't like that, or stuff like that. Anyhow, Master of the Universe. It's not here yet. Oh yeah, there's Masters of the Universe. Would that be it? Let me just... can I go over here without... Oh, it's like 1978. Is that the one? This one? It seems very old, but it's potentially very old. I mean, this is a movie too. It just seems very old. Yeah, there's a newer one from 2026. Apparently, it is semi-related to the other one, I guess, from reading this. But it's worth a watch, definitely. It's probably not one for my partner, I suspect. He's not that much into fantasy. That said, he do like watching zombie movies, which I'm like, that's fantasy too. I mean, right? Silly fun action. Okay, so it's not as much as Crazy. 2016 theaters will probably won't be out for a couple of months. Yeah, that makes sense. The movie, that movie's in good bad category, kind of cult classic. Much used fantasy, sci-fi. I don't know. We'll see if he's taking it. Sometimes we watch interesting movies. We did um we did watch the one that Susan recommended a month ago or so. Always good to find new things to watch together. Sometimes it's just about hearing it from somebody else. You had no idea that it would be an amazing one. I would not start with the 1996 movie. That can be a bit of a slog in the middle. Good to know. Good to know. Right, so we do have two movies that we are trying to watch as well. So we watched the first one. That's on Netflix. What is it? Knives Out, I think it's called. Knives Out is the one. Yeah. That's like um that's like a bit of like Sherlock Holmes kind of style concept. Which I actually thought was pretty cool. And then they've made a couple of following episodes. Daniel Craig plays the lead character. And I actually think it's not bad at all. Now I'm actually wondering, but I think so this should be 20 then. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Ha! It's predictable. Yeah. Sorry, my little own victory. And you can actually see it is getting lighter here. I don't know how bright it is, but I can see it's getting lighter. Ooh. So we had our color change today. That was a good thing. The wife tried to watch it and got an hour in, and it was just not into it. Yeah, can't be done. That happens sometimes. There is also sometimes where I'm part is like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this movie, and I'm like, I don't want to, and then halfway through, I'm kind of watching it anyways with him. And other times he's put on something, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is taking forever to get started. Sesame Street made a Benoit Blanc parody character, and Daniel Craig saw it and called them to get on the show to act next to the parody. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, why not? I said we need to hydrate. I need to get reminded of it myself sometimes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. If you've ever heard of Big Bird or Elmo Sesame Street, it's where they come from. Ah. I think I've watched this as a kid, but we might have had different names for them. But it's so long ago. Genuinely. Like, this is now where I feel old. Which I'm not really at all, but I mean, I do have a short moment right now where I do feel genuinely pretty old. My little one loves Sesame Street. Ah, I just try to remember. I think it had a different name in Danish. And the thing, I'm not sure when they would have, maybe would they have done it in the. It says its name is something else. Yeah, Sesame Girl would be the one. So Elmo is Elma in Danish, and then Big Bird is like Fuglstork, which is definitely different. Cookie Monster is definitely Cookie Monster or the K Monster, but it is I don't feel that it was something that we really had lots of. I do see we have 3 seasons on Netflix. And according to this, it's like 2026, which is hard to believe. But it could be. It's not, yeah, I don't think it's something I've watched a lot of. But I have watched it. And it's so long ago, so I'll probably not put to mind. People being outdoor. My goodness, in this heat. Why would one want to do that? I mean, genuinely. Ah, right. Okay. So Netflix got the rights after HBO did not renew before that was on public television. The Orange Minutes cut funding. The American show has been running since 1969 with over 4,500 episodes. That's insane. still, I'm like, yeah. You know, I think the thing is, if I would see an episode, I would know absolutely what it's about. But it's not something I watched. So if I would see a part of an episode, I would definitely know it's Sesame Street. But it's not something I have watched a lot. I guess maybe it's a fault in my childhood. Who knows? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Perfect. Yeah, but I haven't watched this program for a long time. Right? Like it's been 30 years almost. It's like this point in life where you stop watching it. The activation code for my entire generation is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. I think I figured out one day that I was a Generation Z. Whatever that means to some of you guys. I even read it in the song tones. We have passed the tip. Woohoo! And we are soon gonna go for the last, 29 tips. Cheatily. It's still like 1,000 stitches almost. Not completely, but I mean 800 whatever, some odd crazy. One, two, three. Let me find the link. Oh my goodness. Right. Yep. Definitely a Kinder's children's program. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We are a few rows too further in to be able to do the song nicely, I guess, when counting. Because I have to do 60. But the thought matters. The thought matters. I definitely need to do a good reading once we're done with row 60 as to how I approach the onwards. But I also know that I do have a couple of more rows in it. So the real question will be, how many more? Looking at this, I'm not sure if I can squeeze out 4. So what do one do? I don't feel it makes sense to stop on a fan. So may I consider adding an extra row of double crochets instead? Or what not? I don't know. But here we only had 1 row. You know what? We'll have to see when we get there, wouldn't we? And if it's not too much more, I do, as I mentioned, I do believe I still have a cream in my stash. Well, I know I have a cream in my stash, so that should be corresponding to the cream here. So I could always just extend if I'm a little bit short. Right now, it doesn't feel like we are going to be short because there's still lots of yarns to go. One 100% pure freshly cut nostalgia. That's true. You might get a kick out of this. I hate fapping about with yarn, especially on a cone, but I have a spindle now and the cone fits on top of it. My wife saw it and said it looked like a lamp, as the top of the cone is too narrow to let the middle pass the way through. Well, honestly, I'm like, if it's caked up, I'm really happy with my spindles. Like, I wouldn't be without it. Not for a second. It really makes life easier when you're working with cakes, but only if you work from the outside. If you work from the inside, it makes no sense. It can just like stand on the floor next to you or something like that in a box where it doesn't get moved around in. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I think that was a post, or maybe it was. We have like a weekly. Oh, what is it called? The weekly news, like on paper. Mm-hmm. I often just rewind a cake if I want to start with the inside color, just because using a spindle is easier than having it collapse when working from the inside of the cake. True. The challenge is only that not all, I don't have a spindle that's big enough to do more than 100 grams. So then I would need a bigger spindle, I guess. If it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. Well, that is valid. Who cares how it looks if it works? I'm probably not looking the fanciest right now. Did you happen to get this yarn from Mary Maxim? It looks more, yeah, it looks like a lamp or a Christmas tree, like a Christmas tree decoration kind of thing, right? For winter. I like the creativity of it. I genuinely do. It's like when I've done my plitter cakes on top, it's like, it looks crazy. But the fact is, this works for you. And that, my friend, is what's important. I mean, I wouldn't be bothered changing that if it works. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Sweet. Got directly from Premiere or from Hershnush. Cannot recall it. It's been a while. Oh, fair enough. Susan says, lol, beach ball. Yeah, isn't that what we all are thinking after having seen Kelsey's yarn haul? Ooh, beach ball yarn. That has to be it. I need to place it a bit differently because I feel if I don't, it will drop on the ground, which means that it will pull, and that's not going to be fun to work with. It definitely did look like beach ball, didn't it? Hello, Jessica! Nice to see you this morning, young lady. Here it is hot. As I told everybody else, it is warm here in the Netherlands. Especially when you have no air conditioning. So I have a fan next to me. Everybody says they can't hear it, so that's a good thing. I can hear it. But if you can't, that's good. It is keeping my body cool. Not my head, but more like down, because obviously this shawl has turned into a blanket. I was expecting this yarn to be a bit softer given it's a cotton polyester blend. Ah. Susan, he's making a wrap. Just popping over. This is what's being made out of that cone, for those curious. Progress is being made. Meanwhile, let's see if we have reached the 96. We have! My goodness. Friends, I am melting. I mean, conditions are sunny still. Well, I can see the sunshine, so I agree. With 96 degrees Fahrenheit, about 36 degrees Celsius, the wind is blowing from south-southeast at 4 miles per hour, and the humidity is 37. So we dropped even a percentage in humidity, but as I said, phew, I'm surprised they haven't promised thunderstorms this evening yet. I've not touched the Heart Collectors Shawl in a while. I'm trying to finish my lace mandala first. Jessica, sometimes we need to prioritize. I would probably have done longer with this until I realized the perfect time for blocking this project would be in 2 weeks' time, and a week and a half actually, which means I really need to crack on with it. I do know actually that my partner will also go on a business trip in September. And then I also would have time. Why didn't I consider that? Well, because we're working on it now. And now I want to finish. Because we are so close. The weather in Quebec, Canada today, right now, is currently cloudy with a temperature of 61 degrees Fahrenheit, so about 16 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from north-northeast at 6 miles per hour, and the current temperature is 79. It's definitely cooler than here. Here we just stick to it being hot, hot, hot. Yeah. So next week, the goal is being live Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, my friends. That is the goals. Of course, I need to have everything settled as well for the weekend. And yeah, Friday we'll have a yarn talk video. I will be showing the full stretch of this one in the yarn talk. That's planned currently. Ideally, I do finish a color up or at least a cake up before doing that. I am debating because part of me just wants to crack on. But the thing is, I do need to kind of record tomorrow. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So would that actually practically happen? Yeah, probably. Try to finish tonight and then I'll see how much time I have left for the rest. Yesterday was hot. Okay. As in very hot hot, or I mean, here is hot. It's like 36 degrees Celsius. And Friday, it's gonna be warmer, my friends. Warmer on Friday. They are issuing code alerts countrywide due to the heat. Everybody needs to remember to drink, blah, 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 blah. I'm still highly debating if I should, after dinner, still grab my bike and do a little trip around. Just to get a bit out. I think that's still a nice idea because I'd get a bit of wind through me. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I could have goosed my yarn usage by 6 small 97 yard skeins of this yarn rather than using cones, but I chose the easy of not changing yarn over numbers. I don't blame you. I would do the same. The only reason we are weaving all these ends in is obviously because I need 3 cakes to make the large version. I have a feeling that I want to use one of the Stanley muffins for this particular shawl, and I could probably make a small version, or maybe even a bigger one, still, without it being an issue. Oh. Thoughts, I say. Thoughts, my friends. It's all thinking. June was a low usage month, mostly because I have been using large skeins. I only finished 12 so far, 101 on the year though, which is still way more than me. Rev, way more than me. I think you do nothing else. You don't do anything. You sleep, you eat breakfast, you crochet all day, you cook dinner, you crochet a bit again, you go to bed. I mean, you're a machine. So what are we going to do over the summer? I am definitely going to make, I think, a couple of more bucket hats. It is bucket hat season. I do also have some amigurumis, mainly because I have some scrap yarns and so on. That could be perfect for them. So we need to head that direction. And then I need to get more of my projects blocked and posted on my web shop, because reality is just very simple. I cannot by any means keep it all. So items that I know for sure that I won't be keeping, they just have to move on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And I know we've been talking about it. Why do I have a dark strand here? I had a dark fiber in the middle of it, so that was really visible. Now it's gone. I had that as well with blue at some stage. Must have happened at the factory. Ooh! Jessica's been here for a whole month already. Congratulations! We should actually party a bit, shouldn't we? We should. Girl, I can't believe it's been a month already. That's awesome. Sweet. Oh, no, 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 no. We got a yarn knot. Eesh. So, done. Twist it out. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, it's already been a month. Yeah, we are on for many, many more. I am not done yet. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Awesome. Yep, 2, 2, 2. Meanwhile, here it is hitting 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I still need to figure out what I am going to make for dinner. Literally. Surprise, I have no idea yet. I have two options. I think that's more fair to say. I have two options that we can make for dinner. Either I'm gonna make an omelette with spring rolls, or I am going to boil some rice and we are gonna have chicken and a satay sauce to go with it, which is more like a ricey adventuring one. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. We can get to party again. do, do. That's kinda the mood I get into. It's Wednesday, so I'm making the teriyaki chicken rice bowl so the wife has lunch for tomorrow. She is a blessed woman. Or spoiled, or both, maybe even. I mean, it was that hot here, I would not be very inclined to cook inside. No, but I'm definitely not inclined to cook outside either in the sun and 30 plus degrees. It's a holiday in Quebec today? That's awesome. Here, not. Here it's just a regular, boring Wednesday, the 24th. Yesterday it was midsummer in Denmark, which is kind of cool thing to celebrate. Used to do it when I was younger, put up bonfires, put a witch on top. The witch in the sense of, in the old days, it might have been a real witch, but now it's more like you find some old clothes and fill it with hay and stuff like that and make a hay head and bam, you have a witch. Goes on top. Probably have a few firecrackers in it as well, just to make a bit of extra noise. But yeah, that is what it used to be. It's not something is celebrated here, but it is like midsummer festivities. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Time to move a little bit again, like that. But yeah, 5 days to do a couple of color changes. It should technically be possible. But anyhow, both of those two dinner options are easy cook meals. It'll take me 20 minutes to do. I mean, I'm not in the mood to do something fancy. And I also have the possibility of cooking. I also have a quiche, but we had that last week, so I'm gonna keep that over for next week. They were on sale, like buy one get one free, and they had like a 2.5, 3 weeks fridge life. So like I just bought 2, and I was like, yeah, that's gonna be fine. Eat one today, eat the other one in a few days time, or in a week time, or something like that. But they did have some pretty big sized onion pieces in them, which was kind of disappointing, but it was okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Also need to figure out further than that what I'll be eating next weekend, because, well, I happen to not be home. Oh, well, I am home, but my partner isn't home, and I need a car to sort other things. So I'm actually debating. I should check with my mom-in-law tomorrow if I should maybe also invite myself on dinner Friday, because then I could bring her car with me. That's not a bad idea. Because Friday evening is club night, and I need to pick up my stuff at the club after that. Oh my goodness, it is a generous day today. Rev has decided to gift a membership to my channel, and the happy receiver is a Ticina. Ticina, let's celebrate your newest membership. Thank you so much, and I hope Ticina will enjoy her membership and that she has the opportunities to come and join us. If she's not already here and hiding, who knows? Who knows? Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It is a generous day, and it is a wonderful Wednesday. And I noticed that the parcels should have been on the way to the US. I did notice that they had updated the receiving date to somewhere between the 30th and the 22nd, so and next week, which seems pretty much in line with what I would expect. Usually takes about 2 weeks from here to the US. That is, if everything goes well. Did pre-customs already, so technically it should just be receiving, and then only if they decide they want to open to ensure what I put in is correct, then it should be there. I am, though, curious if it will arrive on the same date or if there will be a date difference. Yep, indeed, Susan. I mean, there's a difference if it's going to New Jersey or if it's going to Texas, right? So I mean, it could be fun to see if they actually get delivered on the same day, or if not. Like, I'm curious to see how that's getting handled, because they were shipped together. But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, I've handed in 2 pieces of luggage together on the same flight, and one was left behind and the other one arrived. So I had to wait for the next flight coming 12 hours later. Fuck, I was not happy. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I mean, spending 12 hours in the airport waiting is just not fun. Not recommendable by any means. But yeah, just because the passes were shipped together, they don't have the same destination. But I am actually curious if there will be a difference. And if there is, I would subconsciously expect New Jersey to receive it quicker because it's kind of close on this side of the pond. But it could also be that it already gets split before shipped all the way across. I mean, then they would probably ship one to New York, another one to Texas, right? Directly. Depending again on what carrier they will be using. I do not know. I'd probably go through New York for customs. Yeah, probably. I did pre-do customs, so. Seems to be the way from stuff from Europe. Yeah, mid to end next week. They claim, according to my shipping, that it should arrive, so. 10, 12, 14, 16. But yeah, it could go that it just goes into one big jumbo and gets carried all the way across. But at the same time, I also know that some parcels can't go on the regular flights. So I guess it all depends. Since it's our national post service being used, I'm expecting that it will in the US be handed over to US Post, but I don't know. I would be surprised if Susan did not get a package a few days before I get mine. Yeah, that's my logic thinking too, because she kind of lives closer to Europe slash New York, right? Um, but I will hear from you guys next week if I haven't received any news myself either. I should also be able to see when it's been delivered, but you know. About 1,100 miles away from New York. Yeah. Yeah, and then that's a question, right? Will they then put it on a truck to be truck hauled, or will they just put it on another flight, like inside the country? What would they do? What's likely to happen? It's logistics at a different level that I'm normally calculating in. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, I do apologize. Oh, don't lie to us. Rev says he's wrong. I'm about 1,600 miles from New York. Yeah, I'm a lot further than you, though. A lot further. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 1, 2. have no idea how many miles I would be away. Probably like 6,500, 8,000 kilometers. No idea. For the reference, Paris to Prague is 640 miles. Yeah, I do kilometers. I'm a bit better in that. I have like 965 kilometers home from my parents. That's probably the same distance Paris to Prague. I don't know. Wild guess. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. No idea. Let's find the calculator. Am I muted? I hope not. You can't hear me? Am I no audio? No audio. Oh, no audio, maybe? Yeah. That is weird. According to this, there should be audio on. There should be audio. Ah, Rev is muted. I'm like, according to my system, I have audio. Please don't mess with me. I mean, genuinely lately. That's crazy. Okay, so kilometer to miles. Convert place. Okay, from 965 is 600 miles home. That's pretty close, huh? I mean, 40 miles, give or take. So I have an exact 600 miles home to my parents. That is the distance I would drive to go home to say, hello, mommy and daddy, how are you doing? So that's a bit of a distance. And it is an exact, probably about 6,000 kilometers to New York from here, roughly, give or take, which is about 3,725-ish miles. A bit further. So, yeah. I am far away. So back and forth 3 times is just a bit further than New York to Waco. Yeah, pretty much. Except I don't think you would drive. Like, that seems crazy if you would. Of course you could, but I mean, would you? Would you is the big question. Haley also says she has audio. Yep, that's why I was like, no, I should have audio. I didn't change anything. I could have by accident, but... And then think back in the days when they then came from Europe, they wanted to go to the land of opportunities, and they harbored or landed in New York, and they went to the Wild West. You know, that's like, I would not want to do that in a horse and wagon. Of course, there is a few trains back then, but like before they also got all that trained down and so on. It's been crazy traveling back then. Paris to Moscow is roughly equivalent Waco to New York. Yeah, okay, that's a fair distance. And yes, the US is big. I know. I also know how big Russia is. I mean, before, well, actually, this is probably more like 15 years ago. I went to a World Cup in Changwon, which is in the southern part of Korea. So we would fly from Munich to Seoul, and then another 2-hour flight south. we basically it was like I think it was a 14-hour flight or something like that, 13-14 hour flight to Seoul. And I remember looking on the screen and seeing nothing except grassland, like thing, like you could see like there was earth underneath you. But there were no cities, no nothing. And then I went to sleep for about an hour, and I woke up about an hour later, and then finally I saw a city on the screen, which was Novosibirsk, which is like in the middle of Russia. It's in the middle of Siberia. So we were just flying across Siberia, and it took hours. Like, that was kind of both terrifying, and I guess, I don't know, if I'd probably rather land on land than in the ocean if we had to crash. But I mean, Jesus. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Like, it's kind of terrifying how big the world is when you compare it. But also, just think back in the days when we didn't have fast cars and stuff like that. You were much more dependent um, on horse and wagon or the train. Even the early days for the train. Um, I think we as humans has to be really, really, really happy and pleased for the fact that the industrialization happened. Because I don't think we would have been without it. But yeah, it's just me having these wild thoughts. How would it have been if we were... Life would have been different. That is one thing that is for sure. A lot different. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. We're still just keep cracking it on here. Last weekend I also slept some of the time. Apparently I was insanely tired after I'd done the groceries, so I just crashed on the couch for like an hour and a half. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yep. Oh, I still have some works to do. before I see the next color underneath. It feels like it shouldn't be, but it's because the cake is getting smaller, so it takes a little bit more winding, I guess. Do you all think Lisa is sleeping in today? I mean, I haven't seen her around. I hope she's well. Oh, that's not good. Sria says she was feeling a bit under the weather, so she's probably sleeping. I'm not so happy to hear that. I hope she will get better soon. Knowing her, she probably finished another pair of socks since last. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Socks is a thing I probably at some stage need to try to attempt to make. But I mean, I don't necessarily have a desperate feeling of it right now. There are other things I need to try first, including that skinny scarf that I bought yarns for at Stephen and Penelope's. And then I have another knit project, which is upstairs. That is a future knit project. I have an idea, but I'm gonna tell you guys much more about that in July because it's gonna be once all of the rest of the things here is done. Because the problem is if I start on it now, I'll just keep going at it, which is not genuinely a good idea with me. Sria thinks she did finish a pair exactly as my suspicion would be. I wonder how many socks she's gonna make for Christmas this year. But I know she started on Christmas projects. Who'll know? Who knows? I don't, on the other hand, have any Christmas projects this year unless I get the idea of making something for maybe my mom-in-law because I don't think my partner would appreciate it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Well, I know he wouldn't appreciate it, so. And I'm not going anywhere as such. I did, though, get something for my mom-in-law so she does puzzles, especially in the winter. And I got her a holder for the lid of the box where she can place it in so it can like stand upright. Which is just a tiny thing, but generally the problem is we asked her last week what she wanted for birthday, and then she just said, I want new furniture. She already ordered the new furniture, it's just not delivered yet. But it's like it's not something we can give. So basically she's like, I don't want anything, but she's gonna get something. We have to give her something that seems fair, right? So She will have something. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Rev has no idea if he's making any Christmas makes this year. Went nuts with them last year, so probably won't have time this time. Have it this time around. Yeah. I guess at some stage it gets boring for the recipients, maybe. I don't know. Could be. I believe Helle is still knitting on the t-shirt I ordered. Which I am definitely looking forward to. Like, I'm sanely curious if I fit or not. Mm. I did manage to get another skein onto the massive corner-to-corner project. 3 down, 21 to go. We did speak about it. It was one of those projects you do a skein a month or something like that, or you'll go crazy. I mean, a big project like that is also not something you want to work on in the hottest of summers, unless, well, air conditioning. But I mean, I cannot wait until I am done with this one. Um, a stitch too many. Frog. 1 stitch. Done. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Perfect. Well, there she is. Good morning, Lisa. I was actually a little tiny bit worried. I thought for a second that you wouldn't say hello today. Generally, ladies, you have been good with the thummies. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. You know, once we are done with this project, we are going to be panicking like, oh my goodness, what's the next thing we're going to do? That's maybe the other thing I need to do. As I'm going to find stuff for the weekend, I should also find the cream, the solid cream, in case I will need that to finish up a row. Or a row and a half, or whatever it ends up being. That is definitely something I also need to do. Lisa said, sorry she slept in. Well, Sria mentioned you weren't like a little bit under the weather, so of course sleeping in is fine. We're just used to you being here, so it feels so empty when you're not. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And Stria just started a baby blanket for a friend. Ooh. Well, didn't make baby blanket for the neighbors though. I guess that would have felt a bit odd. Finished your Musbro hat and a sock since Friday. We just talked about it. I bet you have finished at least a sock or a pair of socks. But you finished both the Musbro and a sock. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So far it is 61 inches, 155 centimeter wide. Let's see if actually it wants to pop me up. Popping over. Not that one. That one. Yeah, that is growing. How many skeins in did you say you were? 3. So 3 skeins. So each skein you change for a different color. Like, so you go variegated or you go solid, or will you at some stage do it differently, or what are you thinking? They're only a bit taller than an ankle sock, so they work up fairly quick. Fair enough, fair enough. Rev Stacy's alternating the variegated and the black. They're good colors together. Most definitely agreed. Lisa, as I told everybody else, it is boiling hot here. I think we are probably either it was just or we are at the hottest of the day. So it is about 36 degrees Celsius here or 96 degrees Fahrenheit. It could be go 97 maybe ish. No, it's still at the hottest. So 96 degrees Fahrenheit, 36 degrees Celsius. It is sunny. It is very sunny. It is blowing from southeast at 4 miles per hour. Earlier it was south. And the humidity is 36. So we dropped 1 more percentage in humidity. It is just scorching outside, to say the least. Yeah, it is hot. We have a heat wave. And it is gonna be here until next week. Like, it will be there, like, Friday is gonna be the hottest. The version to make it look like more long exposure of the James Webb satellite. In Winkler right now, it's cloudy with temperature of 63 degrees Fahrenheit, about 17 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from north-northwest at 10 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 84. Oh, it sounds like it just rained. Oh my goodness. Apparently I am yawning. That's a bit too early. I mean, there's another 6 hours at the earliest before I should hit the pillows. But maybe I don't know, maybe I should really try to go early to bed tonight, but knowing me, I won't. It rained all day yesterday. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. We did have some very, very heavy rainstorms. Was it Saturday night on Sunday? I think. Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, but we had like an hour and a half of just thundering and rain pouring down. And they promised thunderstorms again this weekend. And I mean, I don't get moved a lot because it's so warm. It's just not good for me. Oh, you know. So I have been debating if it's worth it to get on the bike after dinner, just to go around or two, around the block. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It would probably be good for me because it would be movement in general. Um, oh, and we just had a color change as well. Ta-ta! Like a real one, not a cake change, a color change. We are at the Peninsula color change according to Ref's calculations. There is technically 2 more color changes to go. But there's still 3 cakes, so it's still a fair amount of yarn. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Wait till the evening until it cools down a bit. True. But I could also get a bit of sunshine on my pale, pale skin. That would be nice for me. Get a sunburn. That would not be so nice. 1, 2. But I mean, it's this. It will have a wind blowing, so I don't think it would be so bad as it sounds. But yeah, I should probably wait because I think in 2 hours it's still hot. No, it's not really gonna cool down either. It's gonna be like tonight at the coldest, which is gonna be like tomorrow morning at 5. It's gonna be like 22, 23 degrees Celsius still. I mean, it's tropical. Very tropical. Mm-mm-mm-mm. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Sweet. But I mean, we still have a far distance to go. And I need to flip it a bit around to make room for it again. Oh. Also, I'm suspecting that our neighbors will finish moving this coming weekend. As I told you guys a couple of months ago that our neighbors had decided to sell their house and are moving. It would, though, have been the most awesome house to move into because they have an office downstairs, and I'm like, that could have been like the coolest yarn room. I mean, one could dream. Jessica says, have a great day, everyone. I'm off to do some work. When is the next live this week? So, Jessica, there will be no more lives this week because Friday I'm having an appointment in the morning, so I have to work in the afternoon. There will be a yarn talk out instead. I'll also show you guys real process on this one. The last process showing before the finished project. And then I will be back on Monday next week. Monday at 2 p.m. Central European Time. I should be back. And if everything goes well next week, I should be able to squeeze in probably 3 lives, depending on how everything goes. I may have to stop on time Friday, due to if I end up making the appointment with my mom-in-law or not. I will have to see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So it could be that we'll do a short live on the Friday. Shorter, not like that short, but a shorter one is my current thinking. Also depends a bit, of course, how this progresses. Can we finish it? I mean, July the 1st is on Wednesday next week. I don't think it's impossible, but I do need to crack on. And skip to, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Sweet. One more tip done. We were talking about dinner as well. As I said, I still don't know what I'm gonna do. I think I might go for the omelette version because I do have plenty of eggs. So I think that is what I'll be doing. I will be making an omelette for dinner. Omelette with some spring rolls on the side. It's just easy convenience dinner. I mean, it's hot. I do not want to cook too long in the kitchen. It's that simple. We even talked about that we should probably see if we could do a salad on Friday. And I'll be on the bike Friday morning, so maybe I could go by the grocery store on the way home for the salads. Then it's fresh. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to do meatloaf, mac and cheese, and cucumber salad. I mean, meatloaf sounds good. I'm in. Da, 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 da. Another 2 stitches, and this tip should be done. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. It is sweet. I like when things are predictable. And so far it is still easy peasy. I see the lightest, faintest color change popping up, but as I say, I'm still far from there. I think my goal for today is going to be to finish it. I'm not sure if you can see it. I actually need to make this screen darker. It's been okay actually, because I do have like lots of screens down to kind of prevent some of the sun, but I do see it is not. Oh, that's better. Less bright. You see the little V here? There is the new color. But as I say, it's so faint. It's almost difficult to see, but it's there. It's right here. But we'll need to do another 2 cakes first, so I'll better keep cracking on. Who knows? Like, if you don't see yarn collectors, this is a yarn collector's shawl. If you don't see yarn collector's shawl, so to say, or hat collector's shawl in the title on Monday, it's because I managed to finish it this weekend. But I still think it's too much yarn to do, with everything else going on in my life. But it would be cool if I managed. Most definitely. Now it is a bit darker here because obviously it's yeah, that was a bit better. I've put down the project to type. I've managed to do 2 repeats during this live, even with as much typing as I've been doing. Yeah. I have to put down the projects once in a while as well to do certain things, right? So it does make sense. Do, 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 do. I have to put it down too to type and do things and check and spring between the scenes as it's so fancy called, because this is a scene, to be able to flip between the dual camera view and just the face cam. I should, though, genuinely still look into some sort of rig where I can like put it up and film from top. So instead of seeing me as across the table, you would see me from top of as to what I'm actually doing. But it will take longer time to set up for as well. So, and my table isn't the easiest table to do that with because it has a very thick side piece. So I'm not completely sure how to approach best. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. I think we'll do 1 or 2 more tips, and that is going to be the end of today. But as I said, we are seeing the new color coming forward, but we are not ready yet to change the cake. The goal for me for today will definitely be to finish that. I am exactly not sure if I will be able to finish a second if I should slash that one on today. I'm not super positive of that. I think that might be just too much. And I think it will be easier for me to show you guys the status of the project if I don't have a cake on attached, because it's easier to move around, right? And I can also get it flat laid on the floor because I think it's going to be too big for the table now. But who knows? I may try to do the table still. And then, of course, we'll get it flat laid on the floor. And it's just easier to move around when I don't have a cake attached to it. So that seems like a great goal to finish that for today. That's a full color plus a half. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. And it also seems like a doable goal. Looking at how much is currently left, that should be achievable. My stomach is also telling me it should be dinner time soon. Maybe it doesn't like me putting it on a diet. Diet just means smaller portions. But of course, my stomach finds it is the saddest thing that could happen. So if I am good, this should be an exact 16 as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Sweet. Okay, so we are missing from here to here. And you can really see here that this last row I've done is also been increasing. Like we talked about that this bit was increasing a lot, right? And now you can see even more increases, so it's really starting to curl inside on itself. But as I said, I'm just following the pattern, so that is how the shawl is being. It is like curling in on itself. Maybe I can see if I can show that with a nice front photo when we get there. Ta-ta! To default me again. It's a bit lighter. It's a bit better. But I mean, you can clearly see that it's starting really to curve in. But I think we got a really decent piece done today. And we don't have well, it's difficult to see. But we got a few more removed, but we still have color to go. So the goal for me today is to finish that, because then I can prep and pre-record the Yarn Talk video tomorrow for you guys to watch. Friday, of course, members will have early access. And then I will be live again on Monday. Monday at 2 p.m. Central European Time, so that's about 8 a.m. Eastern. And until then, I'm going to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I had a wonderful time in your company. Take care and happy stitching and crafting. Until I see you again, either in my Yarn Talk video, another video, or live here on this channel. Love you all. Bye. And have a great weekend. Indeed. Because it is a weekend soon. Well, technically, we are more than halfway through the week. Take care.